The legendary Tsar Kolokol, also known as the Tsar Bell, weighs an incredible 202 tons, a giant without a doubt. However, it was never used for its original purpose. Why then was such a colossal and extraordinarily expensive bell cast? Wasn't it obvious that it would be impossible to hoist it up to the bell tower? In 1730, when the bell was created, there were no lifting machines powerful enough. Or was the bell not cast, but unearthed? Wouldn't it be more practical to install a smaller bell on a post, since the sound produced by a smaller bell is not inferior to that of a large one? Why design such a complex construction just to sound? Today we will discuss the use of bells. There are numerous questions surrounding bells, especially those weighing many tons. Why did the Nazis hide information about research on superweapons in the form of bells? Why, in the villages and towns of Russia, were so many stone churches with equally stone bell towers erected when it would have been much cheaper and faster to build otherwise? And why were so many churches and bell towers destroyed around the world? Want to uncover the secrets and mysteries behind these historical enigmas? Then get ready for a fascinating journey. On May 9, 1945, in the forest between Prague and Pilsen, a shot rang out. According to the official version, it was there that Schutzstaffel General Hans Kammler, one of the most enigmatic figures of the Third Reich, took his own life. Mysteriously, both the body and the site of the incident disappeared, as did all the documentation of the immense project Kammler oversaw. The most intriguing, however, was the disappearance of a gigantic bell that the Nazis planned to use as a superweapon. For the first time, information about the existence of this project came to light in 2000, in the book by Polish journalist Witkowski, The Truth About the Miracle Weapon, which explores the development of the so-called Nazi miracle weapons during World War II. Witkowski investigates in detail the secret projects of the Third Reich, focusing especially on the development of advanced technologies that the Nazis hoped would turn the tide of the war in their favor. The information in the book was based on a transcript of an interrogation of Officer Jakob Sporenberg by Polish agents. Later, the data presented by Witkowski was confirmed and expanded by military journalist and English writer Nicholas Cook in his book, The Hunt for Zero Point, published in 2001 in the United Kingdom. But what exactly was this project? Was the bell shape chosen for the superweapon just a coincidence? What was the true purpose behind these miracle weapons? Were they merely a desperate attempt to turn the tide, or was there something more sinister and advanced in development? And most intriguingly, did any of these technologies survive the end of the war and influence subsequent technological advancements? The device indeed had the appearance of a huge metal bell. Inside it, when activated, 2 lead cylinders rotated in opposite directions under a ceramic dome. The bell was filled with an unknown liquid substance called Rum 525, similar to mercury but purple in color. During the experiments, which lasted no more than a minute, electricity throughout the surrounding area was cut off. In the device's action zone, which was illuminated by a faint pale blue light, various instruments, as well as animals and plants, were placed for testing. It was discovered that the bell was truly capable of causing harm to all living beings within a 200-meter radius. All biological liquids disintegrated into components, blood coagulated, and plants turned white due to the disappearance of chlorophyll in their cells, resulting in the near-total death of all living organisms. Additionally, at this same distance, all electronic equipment ceased to function. Despite the staff wearing protective suits and maintaining a safe distance of 150 to 200 meters from the bell, most of the first team did not survive. But what else do we know about this mysterious project? What secrets does it still hold? What really happened to the scientists involved? And why were electronic devices also affected? The work began in 1942 at the occupied Skoda factory. The first secret location was near Lublin. However, with the entry of Soviet troops into Poland, the laboratory was moved to an underground mine located in the foothills north of the Sudeten Mountains. By the end of April 1945, all the equipment was removed, and the 62 scientists involved were hastily executed. All that remained of the facility, known as the Bell, was a huge reinforced concrete structure, vaguely reminiscent of the megaliths of Stonehenge. Nicholas Cook mentions the project known as Die Glocke, which describes a device whose core was a huge metal bell, measuring about 3 meters wide and approximately 4.5 meters high. This project, known as the Bell, was divided into 2 distinct parts, Kronos and Fonarchik. The first part focused on medical biological studies, while the second part explored physical aspects. During the experiments, accompanied by a faint bluish glow, the scientists observed events from their past lives in the mirror located at the top of the bell. This resembled the famous Kozyrev mirrors. The researchers proposed that the operation of the device was based on the theory of quantum ether, which combines quantum mechanics with vortex fields. This method represents a fundamentally different approach to obtaining energy, utilizing the ether and etheric fields, similar to the studies of Nikola Tesla. However, allegations arose in the press that the entire project was nothing more than a journalistic hoax, as no material object was found, except for a partially destroyed structure. Now let's think. Given the difficulty of casting a large bell, the effort, the cost of materials, and the time involved, not to mention the technological complexity, wouldn't it be more practical to simply attach a metal strip to the roof of a house, for example? After all, sometimes a metal strip can produce a sound even better than a traditional bell. What do you think? Leave your opinions in the comments. Did you know that the mass destruction of bell towers didn't only occur in Russia? In Russia, the scale of destruction was unprecedented. Between 1917 and 1936, 99.5% of churches were demolished, meaning that only 1 in 200 bell towers and temples was preserved, while the other 199 were destroyed. Who was interested in eliminating these temples and why? Now observe these photographs. All these bells have an identical top, even though they were made in different countries and even on different continents. This suggests that in the past there existed, if not a unified superstate, at least a common cultural space across vast regions. And looking at these photos, do you also find it strange how these bells are positioned? A wooden beam really seems like an inadequate support for a structure weighing many tons. In fact, it looks like all these bells were designed for a different purpose. But what were these bells really used for? Have you ever wondered if there was a hidden purpose behind these adaptations? Could the bells have had a power beyond what we imagine? It seems that people simply adapted these bells for functions they could understand, because they were unaware of their true purpose. Now let's explore another fascinating document, the report of the Soviet spy Blumkin about his expedition to Tibet. During his journey, he had the opportunity to see a mysterious bell in one of the underground caves in the Tibetan mountains. Blumkin reports that when the Tibetan monk guided him to the caves, the first thing he saw was a huge bell on a stone pedestal, cast in metal. The monk explained, "This is a shuzi, a weapon of past civilizations." He revealed that with this bell, it was possible to temporarily blind a large army or an entire troop. The functioning of this technology is based on the transformation of electromagnetic waves into a special frequency, inaudible to the human ear, but that affects the brain. This unusual weapon allowed the Indian prophet Arjuna to win great battles by causing panic among his enemies. Perhaps this has some relation to the tests conducted at Shakti S.H. as members of the Ahnenerbe, in search of ancient artifacts, organized various expeditions to Tibet. But what would be the true function of the bells in the towers? The answer seems clear: to generate electrical energy. Researchers, including quantum physics specialists, do not find this idea extraordinary, stating that all the necessary requirements are present. If, in the pyramids, the main source of energy is their enormous mass, then in towers and temples, the mass also plays a crucial role. The walls of these temples are, on average, 2 meters thick, reaching 5 meters in some cases. The piezoelectric effect, generated by atmospheric electricity, often involves the use of mercury in devices for its generation, or more precisely, the mineral known as cinnabar. Here is what it looks like. Research shows that the piezoelectric effect manifests in some minerals that do not conduct electricity, such as quartz, tourmaline, sphalerite, phyllite, and, notably, cinnabar. The piezoelectric effect, in general, occurs due to the electrical polarization of crystalline faces when subjected to mechanical deformations, such as those caused by an elastic wave. This means that cinnabar, a piezoelectric material, is even more potent than quartz, according to research. With up to 87% mercury in its composition, cinnabar follows all physical laws. This effect manifests when there is a mechanical change that generates polarization, charge separation, and the emission of ultrasound. The polarization indicates that the piezoelectric tension is linked to the emission of electromagnetic waves. The greater the mass of the cinnabar, the more intense this emission. For the piezoelectric effect to occur, some external influence is necessary. which generates low-frequency waves, ultrasound, and associated electromagnetic waves. Researcher Alexander Matantsev suggests that the direct piezoelectric effect can be triggered by seismic waves in tectonic faults, Schumann resonances in the form of electromagnetic waves, and sound waves. He points out that emissions from structures like pyramids, dolmens, menhirs, and cromlechs, as well as staffs and scepters, torsions and sound waves and vibrations from sources like wave crashes, waterfalls, the rumbling of drums, the sound of organ trumpets, the chanting of mantras and other collective chants, and the sound of bells. All these evidences support the theory of the piezoelectric effect. It's important to remember that the quartz present in the walls and foundations of the temples, as well as the calcite found in marble and limestone, are also piezoelectric materials. However, the efficacy of cinnabar in generating electricity is hundreds of times greater than that of quartz. In the structures of the towers, and especially the temples, there are elements that amplify the electric field. The dome, for example, functions as a resonant device and an energy concentrator simultaneously. The crosses and other structures can act as fractal antennas. It is plausible that the integrated construction of temples and towers with bells not only captured atmospheric electricity, but also energy from the earth. If this is true, who would be interested in destroying such an efficient technology? Leave your opinions in the comments. Recently, many new temples have been built, but the knowledge of these ancient technologies has been lost. It is clear that the sound of the bells alone has a unique impact on people and the surrounding environment. We can only imagine how our world would change if this technology were rediscovered. To conclude, here is an intriguing fact. In the 1940s, a 10-year-old boy named Newton Richard Anderson made a surprising discovery. When he dropped a piece of coal, he revealed a bell hidden inside. This mysterious bell gained notoriety by being featured in various shows and books about unexplained artifacts and the biblical flood theory. Subsequent analyses showed that the bell was made of an unusual alloy of metals, unlike anything known in modern production. Additionally, carbon dating tests indicated that it came from the Carboniferous period, which occurred around 300 million years ago. However, the scientific community has not reached a consensus on the actual age of the bell. The idea that it is 300 million years old challenges geological principles and the chronology of human evolution. Even so, the polygraphs used to validate Anderson's story indicated that he believed he was telling the truth, although this does not scientifically prove the authenticity of the artifact. But it raises the question, how do you think it got there? You have reached the end of this journey. You know, as we investigated this content, we felt like explorers uncovering hidden secrets of the past, navigating through mysteries and enigmas that challenge our understanding. It's as if we were opening the doors of an ancient cave, revealing a lost world that has long awaited rediscovery. Imagine the Tsar Kolokol bell, not just as a metal monument, but as a symbol of human effort to reach the unheard, the inexplicable. Each of the stories and theories we discussed is a piece of a puzzle that connects us to our past, urging us to question and explore. And you, who stayed until the end, are a crucial part of this journey. You are the explorer venturing beyond the boundaries of the obvious, seeking the extraordinary amidst the ordinary. It's as if we were together on an expedition, each click, each minute watched, helping to illuminate the dark paths of the unknown. Your interest and curiosity are the fuel that drives me to keep exploring, investigating, and sharing these incredible stories. Without you, this gigantic and mysterious bell would be just a distant echo in time. With you, it comes to life, resonating through the centuries, reminding us of the power of curiosity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. So thank you for accompanying me this far. Leave your opinion in the comments, share your theories, and above all, continue being that tireless explorer. See you next time as we uncover more secrets and mysteries waiting to be revealed.